Hey everyone, it's Nelson Miller here with PA Creative. In this week's tutorial, I'm showing you how to add the excerpt and a read more button to the Divi Portfolio module. So as far as I know, there's no other solution out there for this, so I'm excited to share this. It's very customizable and easy to do, and we're adding this to the existing modules. Let me show you what this will look like when we're done. So here is the portfolio module, and you can see that there's the title, and then there's like the meta, the categories, and then this new text here is showing the excerpt, and this here is saying view project. Now, as you know, these options here are not available by default, and we are adding them in this tutorial. So let's get started. Be sure to click the link to come over to the blog post. If you're watching this on YouTube, we'll have the snippet that you'll need here. So like I said, we're adding this excerpt and the read more button. Now, obviously, let me just clarify, you will need to add an actual excerpt to your projects first, right? So notice this one here, for example, does not have the text. So let's go ahead and add that. You would go to the back end of the project, and then right here where it says excerpt, add your text there and just update. And that is where the excerpt is added in each individual project. All right, now, first step for real. Adding the code snippet. Wow. This is basically all done with PHP, and it's this big old code snippet, and it can look pretty intimidating at first, but don't be afraid of it. Honestly, it's literally copy and paste. If you can copy and paste, you can do this tutorial, okay? I give some instruction here about where to add this code snippet. You could put it in your child theme. If you have a child theme, you can put it in your functions.php file. If you have another plugin, some other way of putting PHP code in your website, that's fine. The easiest way would probably be with this code snippets plugin. You can click on there and go over to WordPress and install that. So I will be using that. Go down here to the code snippet and just copy it. That's literally how easy it is. You copy it. Now go to the back end of your website, and if you have installed that plugin, the code snippet plugin, you can come over here to where it says snippets on the side like this, and you can click on add new, and you'll come to a screen where you can paste. So I've already pasted it. So you can see here is the code, and write a title, like something simple like that at the top, and then save and activate at the bottom here. And that's how simple it is. Now the code is active on your site, and any portfolio module, right, or filterable portfolio module, they're the same. They're basically the same. It will add that excerpt and button. Now, you will have to style this as a button. So actually, let's keep going, follow the actual tutorial here. So that was step one, adding the snippet. And now you can adjust any of the values. Now, I do have to say, you need to be careful, be very attentive to exactly what you're doing when you're editing PHP on a live website, because it can crash the site depending on what you're doing. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but just be careful. All we're doing is changing a few values if you want to. Now, by default, it looks great, but there are a couple of things that you may want to change, and that's totally up to you. I have that written here about each one of the things, and I guess what I will do is just go over here to the actual snippet and change them. So what you will want to do, the first one right here, show or hide the excerpt. Now, I'm assuming that you're going to want to show the excerpt, but if you only wanted to show the button and not the excerpt, then you could change this. Let's see, let me find the line numbers for you. 25. You could change this to false. Okay, so true and false. So show excerpts false, and I'll just save that. I'll update my page with the module on it. Now you can see that it's not showing the excerpt. Really simple. All right, I'll put it back to true. Next is the limit, and this is the limit to the number of words. And then the second one that goes with that is the trim. So it's set to 10 words, and excerpt, the trim to ... So let me show you. If your excerpt has more than 10 words, it's going to show this dot, 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 right? Ellipsis, I think is the actual term for that. Well, anyway, you could change that if you wanted. You could change the number, but you could also change that. Like you could make it so that it doesn't show until like 20 words, right? You know, if I change that to 20 or something like that. Now, obviously for me then, I don't have the dots, but that's fine. I'll change it back to show you one more thing. Where these dots are, I could say like more or read more like that if I wanted to, like after the dots. I'm trying to just show you that you could do whatever you wanted there instead of the dots, but I think you're probably going to just use the dots. I mean, that's pretty standard. But there you can kind of see it. It's not, I don't know, I don't really like that, but I guess I'm just trying to show you. The next thing that you may or may not want to change is the button. Do you want to show the button or not? So I could change that to false. And now I have the excerpt for true now. So now it will only show the excerpt and not the button. And that's totally fine also. There it is, it's gone. No more button, and again, that's just something you may prefer. Now I'm going to add it back. And then notice the next one here is the button text, view project. Now I have view project, but I could write whatever I wanted to there. And I'll just prove that by saying whatever. And I'll save changes. And I do have to make one other clarification here. So view project, whatever. I am adding CSS here. Let me get rid of that. That is how it looks. Sorry, that's how it was going to be looking for you without styling. So it's going to be like a blue link. That's how it's going to look. And I wanted to show you at the very beginning how it looked when we're done, and then I forgot to remove it. But you get the idea. It's really simple. It's just text and a link. Now, speaking of styling, and we'll go back to the tutorial again. Here I have that description of each of those things. Now, those are the only, 5 things that you should customize. Don't touch anything else, okay? It's literally just those items, like the number, the dots, the text of the button, and then true or false. That's all you should be editing. All right, now styling it, if you want to do that, probably, to make it look pretty nice, you will just go here and copy these little samples that I have. So you already saw them. So this one would style the excerpt text. And I'm using this Chrome extension that I really like called User CSS. It's just handy for me on the front end. Now I could change this to whatever I want. Look, now I made the text red. Now I make the font size huge, right? Do whatever you want with the excerpt text. You could make it like, is it font style, italic, see that? All right, whatever you want to do there, that's fine. Next is the actual link. Now we're styling as a button. So I kept calling it a button, but it's a link, you know what I mean? You can check this tutorial, and I have it linked. We're basically using the exact same code that we used in this tutorial for the read more button on the blog, because it's the same situation where you get that blue link. Just if you want to look at it, like here's even how to add an icon, you could do that. Now, all I did for this is copy that code from that other tutorial and modify this class. And see where it says ETPB Portfolio link, that's the class that we're using. So I'll copy that and watch this. As soon as I paste that, we are styling this button with white text, blue background, 2-pixel border, this padding, the margin on the top, border radius, right? However you want that to be, all that stuff. Totally customizable, whatever values you want to put in there, you can do that. So I feel like this is really fun and exciting to be able to have your portfolio look so nice, just like instantly like this with a little bit of code. I hope it's not too complicated. I tried to make it as simple as I could. It's the PHP snippet, copy paste, optional edits to it, and then you can use that CSS at the bottom and then optional edits to that as well. All right. Well, I hope that you really enjoyed this. And like I said at the beginning, I think this is the only solution on the internet for adding the excerpt to the portfolio module. So when you see this come up as a question in the Facebook groups, be sure to remember and grab the link and say, hey, here it is. And that really helps me a lot. and of course, help the algorithm on YouTube, do all the things, and that really does help my search results here on YouTube. So anyway, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you in the next video.